So then they approved me, and then I picked my local counsel, and one of the best lawyers in the state. And they came back and they said, well, you don't get 2 lawyers for a client. I said, well, the local rules here in Washington says that if you're not licensed by the Washington Bar, you have to have a local counsel. And they said, well, that doesn't apply. You're court appointed. I said, well, what's the purpose of the local rule? Is it to preserve a monopoly, or is it to protect the rights of citizens? That's another thing that often will work. A lot of times when your rights are being stolen from you, it's in the name of helping you preserve your rights. It's one of the most amazing contradictions, and again, it brings me back to that book which I read on the plane over here, and I'd read in high school, and I needed to read it again, where they have firemen who start fires. In the book it talked about Benjamin Franklin. Y'all who are students of history might remember that among many of the gazillion things he invented, discovered, and did, he started the first fire department in the United States. In the book Fahrenheit, it says, Ray Bradbury's character says, well, everybody knows Benjamin Franklin started the first firefighters to burn books that the British had assimilated here so that we could avoid their propaganda. That's what it said in the book. It's a distortion of truth. It's a great book. And it's written in 1951, the year I was born. And it bears being reread again. So the local counsel was appointed, and then the next thing, all my cases opened up, kind of like the Red Sea parting. I asked Jim, who is an ordained minister, if he had any direct clout and had caused that to happen, to imprison me in the state of Seattle, Washington for a month. So we went down there, my daughter, her 2 babies and son, and my wife, and we tried the case. And very, very good lawyers there that we had helping us, but they didn't understand some things. I have an advantage really over many of the Ivy Leaguers. I have an advantage over them. I had to work when I went to law school. I grew up in a neighborhood where when you get up in the morning and you get off the playground, if there's a fight, the kid that won the fight was the one that went back inside the schoolroom. I dug sewer ditches. So when I was going to law school, I was teaching high school English during the day and going to law school at night. South Texas Night School, they had just changed their name. It used to be the YMCA School of Night Law, and they changed it to increase their prestige to South Texas College of Law. And about 10 years later, they sent us out an envelope saying, we're thinking of changing our name again to increase our prestige. And what do you think we should change it to? And the first thing I wrote down on that is, you know, you got to quit pretending you're something you're not. You train people at night who are working, and they become really good trial lawyers. Why don't you just accept that and be happy with it? But if you really have to change your name and you want prestige, how about changing it to Harvard on the bio? That got printed in the Texas Lawyer, and I got complaints from the Alumni Association, which I'm not a member of. But what happens, I had the good fortune of, after teaching during the day, going to school, selling junk in the flea markets on the weekends, I was so tired that anytime I finished the last class at 10:30 at night awake, it was a good night for me. So I don't think I learned as well as even the other night school students. And when I started practicing, I was still fluent in the English language, which a lot of lawyers are. A lot of lawyers think that they're in the courtroom because we pretend jurors aren't important anymore. We pretend that the majesty is all in the court, is all in the judge. The government is important. They try actually to put you as far away in a courtroom from the jurors as you can get. In the Moran trial, the government had their table right next to the jurors, and we are on the opposite end of the room. We are ordered to speak behind a box and not get close to the jurors. And the farther they can keep you away from the jurors, the farther they can keep the jurors away from the truth. And I was asked to speak at a FIJA convention, and I was asked to speak at a bar convention, and I was asked to speak at a couple of different organizations. Most of the state bar hates me, and I'm not a member of the American Bar. It's a joint voluntary organization. I see them as a right-wing, kiss-up, pro-bank credit card company group. So I don't really want to have anything to do with them. I'm not a member of that association. But I am a strong member of the association called Citizen, and I'm a believer in the 10 Bill of Rights. And most of them have to do with juries. The Fourth Amendment has to do with the judicial system. It says there's got to be somebody who swears an oath. They don't do it anymore. They've just gotten rid of it. Before they can barge into your home, search your home, and seize things. An affidavit by a credible person. Now it can be a credible, anonymous, unknown person. How can someone you've never seen in your life be credible? How can someone you can't talk to and cross-examine be credible? Fifth Amendment, right to due process.